and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 673. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. This week, we look extra cool because Travis Touchdown is extra cool. We're here to talk about No More Heroes. I can't do sunglasses the entire time, and those are not Travis Touchdown sunglasses. No More Heroes is getting ranked on the list today. We got a special episode to discuss our time spent with it, why it made the selection, and more. Before we dive into that, Matt, what's your favorite training arc story?
Training arc.
The
Um,
training arc. All good anime have a training arc, but I feel like that trope has made it out into, gosh, modern sports.
I mean, there's the. I mean, I always think of the training montage in a movie before the training
Mm,
arc, but
hmm
uh, I mean, yeah, I guess Goku in a space shuttle for
Yeah.
what felt like the entire season, I guess, is a training arc, or him running the dragon. I forget the dragon's name.
Oh yeah, along
Before that.
the trail. Yeah. I had not like fully watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid, but going through it, I didn't even go all the way through it, but getting up to, I forget where I left off. Garlic Jr. maybe, somewhere in there. Made it a good bit. But yeah, there's a lot of time spent in that show where it's just like setting up a fight for 3.5 episodes. Which you always hear, but like actually going through it, you're like, oh wow, okay.
I mean, God, a
That's
spear bomb took like two, I think, against Vegeta.
yeah. Meanwhile, in Splatoon, you just hit Booyah a bunch of times and you got it in a fraction of seconds. Uh, I love a good training arc. Some good ones in comic books too. Not a bad time. Also, not a bad time. No More Heroes, or is it? I don't know. We'll talk about it. We will discuss it. No More Heroes, developed by Grasshopper Manufacturer, published in North America by Ubisoft in its original release on the Nintendo Wii, releasing in North America January 22nd, 2008. The back of the box reads, Heroes will fall and a new champion will rise, all that's standing between Travis Touchdown and the top of the United Assassins Association are the world's 10 best killers. But with his beam katana and the help of a mysterious vixen, he's out to carve a path of destruction and claim his title. Exclusively for the Wii. Slash your way to the top with your trusty, I almost said thirsty, beam katana. Complete side jobs for extra cash and to customize your character and weapons. Bring the pain with an arsenal of over the top combat moves. There you have it. What's the setup? That kind of gets us there. How do we set up No More Heroes?
Uh, Travis does a pretty good job of it. Right after you walk out of the apartment, he essentially forget what all gets revealed right in that time frame and first what is after. But I think he gets drunk at a bar, meets oh my god, I can't think of her name.
Sylvia?
Sylvia meets Sylvia, and it's out to chase her as a love interest, and then she says no, but if you can defeat all these assassins in said order, we can be together.
Tale as old as time, really. That's how most relationships start. Prior to this, had you played a game with Suda51's involvement or by Grasshopper Manufacture?
I played the tiniest bit of the first Let It Die. I can't
Mm-hmm.
think of any others that I have played. I might be forgetting something though. So I looked that up.
Um, what did you think of Let It Die? I don't know that I don't remember.
It was fine. I definitely had the arcade thing though of like I would have had no problem spending $40 and treating it like a Dark Souls, but as soon as you want me to put a quarter in to
Yeah,
res myself, I was like, I can't do it.
yeah. Or you just die and start from scratch each time. But
Yeah.
um, Yeah, Grasshoppers had a really long run. First game released in 1999. Um, I've played quite a few now that I'm kind of looking at and kind of where they've been. Most recently, I played through Romeo as a Dead Man this year. I played Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, which was famously announced at the Nintendo Switch presentation, if you recall. Liberation Maiden, Cinemora. I think I played some of Killer's Dead. I can't remember.
He wasn't a director on it, but he's credited for the original plan, and I know he's a producer on it. Michigan Report from Hell was this close to being on the list this year.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. Do you remember why you made that selection?
I think I was looking for weird horror games, and who else? Well, one, that game is fucking weird, but two, who else than a Suda game?
Yeah. Have you played Michigan before?
No, no.
Oh,
I've seen
interesting.
enough of it. Like I know what it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
but yeah.
I've not played it. Well, we'll talk more Suda right now, actually. Do you remember your first exposure to Suda?
I probably didn't realize who it was. I mean, I think I know, or I've heard of Killer is Dead. I've heard of Lollipop Chainsaw, of course, all those. And of course, No More Heroes 2 when it came out. But like, oh, Killer Seven's probably one that
Yeah.
I remember hearing about back in the day. But I don't think I make the connection of who it is until you start playing Let It Die.
Yeah, he by that point, like we're seeing a lot more personalities on stages and things like that. So he starts popping up a bit. For the uninitiated, Guichi Suda, aka Suda 51, is a he's the head. He founded Grasshopper Manufacture, who's made all these games we've talked about. Um, he worked at Human Entertainment in the 90s, which one is just a great video game company name, but two, they did a lot of Human made so many good games. But he got his start with Fire Pro Wrestling at Human, which was kind of put him on the map. And I don't know, man. Suda's just cool. He's undeniably a cool dude. Whenever you watch him in interviews, and he's got good style. He's into cool stuff. I I don't know. I don't know. There's a gravity to him, you know. Um, we both selected No More Heroes
Yeah.
for the list this year. Historically, if you haven't heard us talk about this before, Matt and I independently come up with the games that we would like to add to the list each season, and then we present them to one another in a video format somewhere vaguely in the back half of the year in planning for the next year's worth of games. There have been times in the past where you put a game on your final list that we're going to play. It's on the schedule where somewhere in my brainstorming, I've written that title down but dismissed it because it just didn't fit into my final scheme. However, this was the first time where we both came to the final schedule with an identical game. Um, why did you add it to the schedule? Do you remember?
I don't remember the exact reason. I think it just like I wanted some variety, and so I was like chasing a Wii game, and this
Hmm.
kind of like popped up again around the same
Yeah.
time as I was finalizing some things. And I was like, yeah, this seems appropriate. And I've never played it either, so um, that was also part of it too.
I feel like I was my season was predicated on I'm checking to see if I took notes on like why I this made my final cut. Uh but while I do that, yeah, I don't have anything written down. Got I've got charts. I've got charts cross-referencing all of our former. I forgot I made all this. All of our former seasons. I have a Oh my gosh, how much of this do I want to reveal to you, and how much gives away what got cut? I don't know. There's some stuff, man. You got very lucky this season.
I
You
don't know
you
what that
almost had a
means, but okay.
Yeah. There's some stuff that did not make the final cut.
Nah,
I mean, this page
I
has
don't
a
have
good bit.
reasons this year like I did previously.
I know the part of mine because I built half of my season around capturing the PlayStation 1 and exploring some of the stuff that made the PS1 to me interesting, and like my thinking around that was the PS1 was like the first time where you could take this baseline of video game development knowledge and this history that developers had with here's how we create a project, here's how we marry technology with art and we make a thing. But with the PS1 it was like, and now you can do it in the third dimension a lot easier. Like there's this whole new realm to it, and you get to see designers and developers create things that were just weird, that were unconventional. They didn't really know how to move cameras yet. They didn't know how to move controls yet. There's a lot of weird stuff that I think bred a lot of creativity and I think this is all sort of me rejecting in a way this like modern sense of homogenization that I think we've fallen into, where every game, like when you pick up a controller right now or you start a game right now, you already know how to play it for the most part. I'm being reductive, but generally, like if it's as soon as you look at the screen, if it's a first person shooter, click to sprint, pull trigger, like all of that stuff. But there was no standardization for that stuff for genres back then. A third person action game could have been wholly different, whether it was whatever this style or this style. The controls could use face buttons, they could use triggers, they could use a combination of both. Um, and I think just as I started to think of like weird stuff, I came to the conclusion you got to too, of just the Wii had something that was unique, that brought a sense of variety to gameplay. And when I started looking at Wii and starting to like narrow that focus down of like, well, I didn't want to do a Nintendo first party thing per se. And then I start looking at the popular third party games and what I had and hadn't played. And it was like, maybe No More Heroes makes sense. Um, I, I don't know. Yeah. Do you think there's a reason why we both ended up like together locking in on it?
No, I just think we finally. I mean, I know the actual statistic of us land on the same game at the same time, is low compared to you know uh all the games that are out there. But I realistically, me kind of, I wouldn't say we have similar taste in games. I think we have our different paths that we pursue, but there is a bigger Venn diagram than I think, a
Mm-hmm.
shared Venn diagram than we think there is sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of bleed in the middle. Well, we're going to talk about the game, uh, about gameplay, visuals, sound. We'll share our final reviewers' thoughts, and then we will rank this video game on the list. You can find all, I didn't check, 100 and something games. 180 something we're up to now. 184 is my guess. 180. Matt, we're at 192. Good
192.
night. We are getting close to 200. I got to figure out who's going to be our 200th game. Um, yeah, 192. This will be our 193rd game at thefreecheese.com/the list. So let's dive into it. Um, we talked about it before. The general progression of the game, Travis sets it up. I mean, you kill an assassin. That raises Travis's rank on the ranking of assassins. You then do side missions to get money to pay the entrance fee to go take on the next assassin. And then you kill the next assassin, you rank up, and you do side missions to get money to take on the next assassin. And that's the loop all the way through. There is no deviance from that. Um, the side missions themselves. So you have a series of jobs, and then you have assassinations, and those are two different things. Um, the assassinations you have are it'll just be like a contract kill where it's like go kill this guy in a parking garage and you get $1,000 for every kill you do as part of this. So you get to the parking garage, he's got a mob of people with him. 30 of them will say, you've got 3 minutes to kill him, but any number of those people that you kill in the process of killing him within that 3 minutes nets you $1,000. Um, Kind of rinse and repeat at that point. There's those types of things. It's basically that. It's just go get into these fights to kill someone or some series of someone's in a mission style thing, get money and rank up. Um, the jobs, on the other hand, are the one part where the gameplay is a little different from your standard combat. Um, the jobs are like the first one you get is the coconut one, where you have to go to the beach and you're kind of in like a San Diego styled city. It's called Santa
Sure.
Destroy is the name of the city, but it's very like San Diego, Southern California esque inspired. So yeah, you go to the beach. I guess not far off from like a Santa Monica style beach approach thing. You shake some palm trees, coconuts fall out. You deliver them to a guy. You get $300 a coconut, and you wonder if there's something else you ought to be doing because it doesn't feel like you're making much progress. Those escalate though, from picking up coconuts to picking up trash to saving cats, mowing the lawn, removing graffiti. What
Picking up
else do you?
scorpions, rescuing kittens.
Scorpion. Yep, scorpions. I forgot about. The scorpion one is fun because if you accidentally step on one, aka get stung, you need to make your way back to the entrance to get medicine from the guy who gave you the mission. And depending on how far you've wandered in, that's easier said than done. Um,
Oh, filling gas. Did you say that already?
oh, I didn't know that was a fun one. Yeah. Took me way longer than I thought to realize there was a little yellow arrow to tell you when to stop. I was just kind of always aiming for the top of the meter, but I then realized, oh, there's a target they're aiming for. Still generally near the top, but and then yeah, outside of that, you have your general combat, which we didn't super discuss yet. Uh, you press the big A button to swing your sword, and then as you kind of get an enemy's life meter down near zero, you'll be prompted for some sort of motion input, directional input where you swing the Wii remote to sort of do like a big slash. Um, and then in addition to that, there's also wrestling moves that Travis unlocks. As a big wrestling fan, he learns different suplexes and body slams and pile drivers and things like that, and those are all performed. You can use the B button, the trigger on the back of the Wii remote, to do sort of like a instead of using the sword to hit, you kind of hit with Travis's body. If you do that while there's stars above someone's head and they're sort of stunned, you'll trigger a wrestling move. And those are usually done by like some sort of combination of directional swings with both the Wii remote and the nunchuck. Um, there's sometimes a clash that occurs when you're fighting. So when that happens, Travis and the opponent are locked swords, and just swinging the Wii remote in a circular motion will release that. Um, and yeah, then there's of course the way you recharge the battery in the beam sword, which if you saw Koichi Koizumi, not Koichi, what's his name? The
Who?
guy at Nintendo.
The guy that does the directs now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's Koizumi. I
that.
forget his first. Um, but
Yep.
Yoshiaki Koizumi. Sorry. Um, yeah, if you saw him do the Wii Sports Challenge in the most recent Nintendo Direct, uh, what is it called? Or not Switch Sports 2. He did that little demo with shaking of the Joy-Con. You do the same motion to recharge Travis's beam. We'll leave it at that. Um, what do you think of combat in the game?
I I think there's a lot of mashing of A, but it's still fun. Um, there are a couple of mix-ups, especially once you kind of get what the game's throwing at you, when to kick, when to do all that stuff. And I like the idea of like going high or low with the Wiimote for because of someone blocking high or low. Um, but yeah, ultimately, there's a lot of mashing of A, which I don't mind. I kind of liked it in this game a lot.
Yeah, just yeah,
Um,
it fits.
and then when you got the different types of beam weapons and they changed your combos and stuff like that, that kept it fresh and interesting as well too.
Yeah. Um, I guess you mentioned that there are different weapons you get through upgrade system. I believe they're all story based, right?
I
I don't
mean,
remember any of them.
yes, they're all story based, but you have to go to the weapon person. Like you just don't get them. You have to get the
Yeah, yeah,
item to
yeah,
give to the weapon person and then buy it.
yeah.
Which
You get
those last two parts aren't necessarily, you know, required.
well,
If you want the true
aren't
ending,
they?
sure.
Did you? Well, we'll get there.
Okay, all right.
Did you skip the true ending?
I mean, so I accidentally did because I thought it'd take me back to the main menu, so I got it naturally.
Oh, okay, okay.
I got it naturally, but then I hit regular ending to see what that was because I'm the type of person that if I have both of them, I want to see the
Yeah,
bad one first, and then I'll go and see whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, I got it organically, I guess in a way.
Okay. Does it if you do the view ending, like the not real ending, do you get to go back in and actually do it?
Probably, but my Wii U hard crashed after the scene was over, so I had to rewind it. Now there was a save right there because you save right before you go into that menu.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I just had to reload that save. But when you beat the game, the main menu no longer automatically takes you to your game and wants to start a new game. So I had to begin the new game, wait to the part where I can get paused so that way I can bring up the load menu screen. So
Oh, shoot. That's a
yes, in a
pain.
way I got there, but it was not as
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
organic as it should have been.
Yeah. Um we talked a little bit about combat and controls, but I do want to dive deeper into the actual use of the Wii remote and the nunchuck. Um your nunchuck is your movement, and there's camera controls are mapped to Z and C. One of them's sort of like a pulls you in C up style in Ocarina of Time, if you catch my drift, where you're right in Travis's view and you can look around. Where the C button on the nunchuck is sort of like camera snapping to put it behind Travis if you've moved around, because you don't have a right stick to otherwise like adjust. On the Wii remote, uh, your your one button. What does one do?
That's your recharge.
Right, that's how you actually like do the battery. Two toggles the mini map. B is like a shoulder charge. A is your sword swing, and then there's motion stuff involved as well. There's also driving in the game. Travis has this garishly large space bike thing.
Almost like looks
Um,
like Batman's bike in the Dark Knight.
yeah, yeah, it has like a
It's
lot
like
of that.
it's the big thick wheels.
Yeah, very oversized. So maybe this spun out of a Batmobile at some point as well. Maybe in the subsequent games in No More Heroes, we learned that this came from the Travis Mobile. Um, uh, driving, it gets the job done. It's faster than walking, but boy, is it stiff to drive that motorcycle.
Yeah, it's not a good experience.
No, not at all. And then later on, you get the ability to do motion controls to jump. That
Mm.
becomes sort of a requirement as part of it. Another part with controls where it changes up a little bit is baseball. You just randomly have these moments in combat where you fight people that are in a line, and as you or as yeah you approach them, Travis kind of gets into a baseball stance, batting stance, and someone will throw a baseball at Travis, and then depending on when you contact it and when you actually swing, it will knock down a series of opponents. Some of the side missions you do like that are, it's required that you get X amount of people deep. You only have 3 strikes to complete it, which is kind of frustrating. That, I guess, backing up a bit too, like that to me was part of the minor frustration with the game was any moment where like I failed or I didn't realize what I was meant to do until too late. And then, oh, okay, I got it. I could probably do that better. The act of doing it better is tedious. You've got to go back to where the mission was prescribed to you. And then,
It is very PlayStation 2 era GTA.
yeah, very much so. You cannot just hit start to retry at
Uh,
all.
which I have one problem with that. I don't mind if you fully commit to it, just because of the era of the game. Like, I think at this time there are some games hitting retry, and there's some quality of life things there. But if you full on commit to it, I think I can forgive the game. What kills me though is the side. There's other just side quests that are
Mm-hmm.
like the assassination gigs, just there on the map. And it
Yes.
kills me that we have like those ones, and the ones that are the ones where like you can't get touched and you have to try to take down as many enemies as you can. Well, there's a set number of enemies, but you have to try to take them all out without getting hit once, which is easier said than done. Even as
Yeah.
you start to get good at like there one stupid mistake or you miss a guy behind you or something like that,
Right. Because the
and it's
camera
over.
doesn't.
Um, and what will happen there, like you can't retry the mission, but it will actually come back after you do a couple more events.
Yeah.
And it will keep coming back after you complete it as well. I just don't understand why, like, all right, so those are in like a blue M. Why couldn't these other ones be like a red M, on the
I know.
mini map or on the map, wherever you're looking at it, and just have it be its own thing where you could keep retrying it after you like sign up for it or whatever. Yeah, because this game with the assassination gigs and the side jobs, like the picking up the scorpions and filling gas and whatever, like you have to go to the job center or the assassination bureau and then sign up for the job, and then the game pretty much puts you like a mission mode, but it's not it's not really a mission mode. All it does is just black out the rest of your like it doesn't let you do anything
Objectives.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you get to the mission marker and then the mission starts, whatever it is. And it could be something as stupid as or as short as like the baseball thing where it's like 30 seconds or
Yep.
something as
But you had to
long.
go into the building, go
Yeah.
through the menu, select the thing, leap the building, wait for the animations, wait for the loading, drive there. Because that's the other part too that I think would make what you're talking about a little bit easier. Is there's no fast travel. So like even if there were fast travel where you could quickly get back to the agency and quickly jump to where you're supposed to go, like that would help. But you're doing
Yeah,
it all in real time.
I think it's in the scheme of things, it's a minor complaint because I think those that are playing this game are going to find the missions that are the most lucrative and then just kind of end up sticking to them and grinding them out.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff, for gold medaling all the missions or it's just a mental
Yeah.
100%
If you
kind
want
of
to
marker.
unlock, yeah.
But for those just trying to beat the game, I think you'll find the mission you like doing the most that's lucrative enough, and you'll just kind of keep going back to the well, and that's what I found myself doing, and ultimately it led me to do the ones that I like the best as well, which was just mow down a swarm of enemies
Yeah.
which I think is the best part of this game. It's just when you're in it, just doing
Yep.
swinging the sword around.
Yeah, there was one I forget the name of the or which like number it was, but it was one where you're like in a little like block. You're in like
A
a
warehouse.
sectioned off. It's not in the warehouse. It's outside, like almost in an alleyway that's like kind of
Oh,
squared
it's
off.
late. The low one late, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like 18.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those. And that one like you just kind of get overwhelmed a bit. And that one's one where I don't think there's a cap on how many people you can
No,
kill.
there's not.
So you just get money for every kill, and at that point your weapons leveled up enough where you can cut through multiple people at once. So it's really easy to do a little bit of crowd control to get people in, take one guy out to the point where it triggers the motion control, and then just clear like 5 or 6 enemies. The best part, and I know we're jumping ahead a bit to sound design, but the best part of that is they don't balance the audio of the kill effect. So it's just like duplicate of like for every single one of those, it's just stacked. And it blew out my speakers every time. It was a lot of chaos, but a good time. Um, you mentioned GTA, the Grand Theft Auto, the open world Grand Theft Auto. This is clearly inspired by that. What else did you notice about this that was very GTA inspired, or where do you think it pulled from? Where do you think it should have pulled from more or less?
I mean, it's the mission structure and the dots on the mini map and driving back and forth, right? So, like, there's a gym, and you can spend money to
Yeah.
train like you could in like GTA San Andreas, where you go to the gym and make what's his face more buff or whatever. There's a clothing store. There's a weapon shop for your beam sword. I didn't get
DVD store
There's a DVD store so you can learn
or,
more
or
wrestling
video.
moves. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, video. So you can learn more wrestling moves. It has all those things. I think the one thing it lacks from a GTA is the random encounters in it. I think more the more recent GTA's did this more so than the PS2 ones, but like the random encounters that will just happen in the world, like there wasn't a lot of that. Or no, there was none of that.
Yeah.
Um,
You're seeing some people walk around, but usually they don't talk or speak. You
nah,
drive by them and they die because you're a little too close to them. But
yeah. So it has that going on for it. And again, this was not the game's finest hour. Whenever you were just riding around the open world,
yeah, the overworld stuff's the weakest part. But
there's nothing really to do. It's just kind of empty because again, there's none of the random stuff. It's not like and I thought it might happen because it's hinted at by Sylvia very early, where it's like, watch your back now that you're the 10th ranked assassin because another assassin come get you. So I
yep.
thought at some point there would be a random encounter where it was like a random boss fight for like to be deranked almost.
Yeah, yeah.
So, or at least part of the story at some point. But that never really comes to fruition. And even more so, it doesn't. It's yet another thing they could have threw in the open world that they didn't. So yeah, so really, when you're in the open world, it's just kind of getting from point A to point B, and Santa Destroys like it's cool. I think, but it's cool to look at. But I just think because I think the whole game is good to look at. So
Yeah, yeah.
like I think that's why I dig seeing some of the things. But other than that, I just it's not the best.
No, but I'll say where that lacks, I think where it makes up for that part being a little mundane and flat is that every boss fight is unique.
Mm-hmm.
The approach to those boss fights are super unique. I think that's the part where the game shines. Really, is the setup for the new assassin for that next ranking, um, which quite contrasted even Grasshopper's most recent effort in Romeo is a Dead Man. Because Romeo is a Dead Man, and Suda talked about it where they just kind of hit a point in planning where they were like, they had all these ideas, but they realized looking at budget and scope and whatever, we got to ship this game at some point. We probably can't put all this stuff in. Let's pull some stuff out and start you can start to see by the end of the game where things were recycled and variety started to lack, and I did not feel that in No More Heroes in the boss fight stuff. Like all the way up to the final boss fight, like the areas are different. The stuff you have to do in the final, like it's never exactly. Yes, it's always like get through that boss's gauntlet of enemies or henchmen or whatever to reach them to kill them. But the way they do that, one of them is a crazy long gun that you need to
Yeah.
hide from.
I
Like,
mean, yeah, I mean that's the boss fight kind of itself there, but I even think like the lead up
yeah,
twos were unique, right? So, this does like the near thing very well, where you kind of use the gameplay, get used to the gameplay, and then all of a sudden you get into this scripted sequence, which is like same kind of gameplay, but you have to wrap your head around it, like the side-scrolling bus ride when you're on the highway. I think
yes, I
it's
love
like
that
number
one.
2 or 3
Yeah,
ranked assassin. Like there's that. There is the random. You just keep chasing the person down the hall, and every time you get close to them, like they run away again and spawn people
yep,
or whatever. Not that like you know from far back that doesn't seem like much, but like the entire time before then, you're kind of like dungeon crawling, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden, just for the person to be right there, but you can't get them, it's almost like a metaphor for the game so far.
yeah. Creative, very like creative approach to that. I
Um,
think.
yeah, so that's like the lead ups, and then when you meet the characters, this game does like the Metal Gear Solid thing, like here's your full blown introduction to this character. You're gonna see how crazy they are, what they're kind of already like, what their strengths and weaknesses are from the start. This crazy introduction with some kind of dumb moment between them and Travis, and then after you defeat them, there is usually some kind of swan moment for that character, much like you would get in in a Metal Gear game. Now, granted, in a Metal Gear game, the boss, while dying, still figures out a way to monologue for an hour. This game, they don't
Sure,
get to do it quite as long, but
but still a little bit in some
yeah,
cases.
yeah, when they're
Yeah,
split in half and stuff like that, yeah, it's kind of shocking.
yeah,
So yeah, I totally agree with you with the like, yeah, it lacked in this department, but this department it was awesome.
yeah. They really made up for it. You mentioned the boss is in the introduction to them, and like that kind of leads me to the idea of the story. Did you stay engaged, interested in the story throughout? I know it's like a little. It's light generally. You know what I mean? Like the idea of it isn't this like heavy, groundbreaking story, but like, were you at least engaged throughout? Were you intrigued to see who the next boss was?
I think that's what it was, right? Where yeah, at the end of the day, it's just Travis being like a goon for Sylvia. Like that's all it is at the end of the day. But I like the idea of like I didn't know who was next. And then like you
Yeah,
have some cooler, more like bizarre moments, like what happens with I think it's the fifth. Yeah, going
yeah,
to rank 5,
yeah,
like that
yep,
assassin, and what happens there. Like there, as the game goes on, it kind of sets up for like more and more unexpected things to happen. And I was more so just kind of getting to the next rank just to like see what would happen next in that regard, or who is this, who is the built up second ranked assassin, after you just went through this person at rank 4 or whatever.
yeah. Um, yeah, the way they played with that, the way that certain characters stayed around or didn't, or yeah, that it builds towards like a greater idea of what happens in a sequel. I'm more excited to see 2 and 3 now than
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and
it should be
also
fun.
like the game, it is like anti Scott Pilgrim in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you're not battling the X's, you're just killing all these people because
Murdering. Yep.
Sylvia wants you to. Like,
Right. For the hope that maybe you'll get laid. Um, but yeah, stay tuned, Travis. Anything else on progression, world, controls, stuff like that that we didn't cover? Bosses?
I mean, like I said, I didn't like the open world, but I kind of like the side mission stuff, and I like the structure of it in terms of like the dumb story stuff with this game. Whereas
Yeah.
like you do the part-time job to fill gas for someone, and they're like, "Here's this shady coupon to get more assassination missions." It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's very silly, but it all makes sense like in the realism of the world.
And then to like peel back just a little bit, I mean, this is mostly on the gameplay side, but like this game is like it unapologetically is a video game. Like it
Yes.
leans into it so hard. We'll get more into that in like the sound department as well, but like the game's not afraid to just like break the third wall or the fourth wall at times, or
Yeah.
just lean into the idea of like, yeah, this is a video game. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Have fun. We're doing this because we want to. We're looking at visuals next. Um, the thing I love about this game, and as far as I recall, every Suda 51 or Grasshopper game that I've played, every single menu is unique. There's no
Yeah.
repeats. The design, the visual, like language of everything is just completely wholly different. Um, the font selection is different. The layout is different. Like nothing is mirrored. It's just yeah, wildly unique, and it just keeps everything fresh. Like you're always like, and they're all cool looking too. You know what I mean? Like some of them have this like cyber kind of look to it. Some of it are more, I don't know. It's just they're they're neat.
They're like mimicking
Uh,
like an '80s like arcade cabinet throughout a lot of it.
yes, in different ways, right? Like yeah, and that too. Yeah, like the ranking load or the ranking screen too is like very much like a leaderboard on an arcade machine. The loading screens are fully ripped from like an episode of Punked. Like yeah, it's just like guitar hit. It's a crumpled paper overlay on the screen, and then this like high contrast, like tan with blue or red or yellow, like this like pop of color that just
Did you ever?
perfect.
Did you discover that the star you can make the star move?
The loading star in the
Yeah.
bottom right? No.
Yeah, if you, I don't know what else you can do with it. There might be other things, but if you mash B, it's like a climbing thing, and eventually you can get it going so fast it just keeps flying.
I did not know it. But
Yeah.
see, like that's exactly what I'm talking about with this stuff. Like the UI is so inventive and like instead of just like, okay, yep, it's a screen for loading, like there's something to do with it. I that's really funny. I did not know that. Besides that, there's the general character design and sort of the way everybody looks and everything. What do you think of the art direction, characters?
They're fine. They had like that flat 3D look. I don't know how else to describe
Yeah, like
it.
a cell shading kind
Yeah,
of.
but it's not really even that either.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where like they didn't go for like the 3D model at the time. It's not graphically like it doesn't chase for realism. It like stays in its lane and is one of those things where maybe not quite to the degree that like Roller Coaster Tycoon like 2 weeks ago we talked about with like the timeless look, but like this is one of those art styles that I think will forever probably be like good to look at.
Yeah.
I think the thing holding it back is like it's on the Wii, so like on a I'm playing Wii on a high definition TV, which is like not the greatest look in the world. It's a little washed out,
Yeah.
a little bit pixelated at times, but I'm sure like on Switch with like the touch up HD, this looks a lot better and back to like its main, the way it should have been. Um, but I mean, yeah, say what I mean. You can say what you want about the character models, but I think it's the playing of the game where the game looks great.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think you said exactly what I would say about this. I think it still looks good today, and I think part of that's because of the art direction, but it's yeah. Um, anything else on visuals that we didn't hit?
Oh, dude, battling the blood, the everyone being cut into pieces, and
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
yeah. Yeah, they don't hold back on that at all. And then like everybody gets cut into pieces too, and the way they scatter them about, yeah, it's It's very much, but all in a cartoon dumb kind of way. Um, on sound, there's one thing that I almost brought up when we were talking controls and the controller that I saved for sound, and that is the approach to the boss fight when Sylvia calls you. The first time that you get a phone call in the game and the Wii remote speaker starts playing the sound effect of a ringtone, I went like that. I held it up next to my ear, and then like it the voice comes out of it like you're talking on the phone. I don't know why it struggled so hard to say those words. Um, but it never got old. All the way up to the final boss fight. Every time the phone would ring, I would be like, oh, mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're walking along as Travis, and she's telling you to go to the bathroom because that's where you save. And I'm like, mm-hmm, yep, got it. I know what's happening here. But I like never stopped listening.
So I think I have a hardware failure. So
No.
I think my Wii has, or my Wiimote has taken, it's been, I've had it for quite a while because I don't remember buying a ton of them after like the initial
Yeah.
round of buying Wiimotes for everyone. My speaker cuts in and out. So like I would hear like a phrase or two from Sylvia, and then like sound like I'm underwater, and then I would hear another phrase or two, and then underwater, and then a phrase. So it was more so like what I was hearing was cool, and I did the whole like put up to your ear, but I thought for like the first couple times I might just be put into my ear because my speaker's so fucked up. So it is reassuring
mm,
that the actually did get the volume right.
yeah.
To do the phone thing. But no, like for as much as I heard of it, I could tell it was like comical and it was like her busting your balls
Oh,
the
I
entire
mean,
time.
none of it's like memorable. Yeah, you didn't miss anything by not hearing it, but yeah, just the idea and the intention of like using the hardware in that way, I thought worked really, really
Well, I
well.
think like each time she ended the call it was always like, and now you proceed to the god in of of death or destruction.
Uh, Destruction sounds right.
Yeah, so like I know
Yeah,
like there was like things she kept throwing in there repeatedly. But yeah, they go to the toilet, like those types of things. But no, it was funny like the first time they happened because it felt like a codec call.
yeah, very much. Yeah, it makes me wish that Kojima would have made a game on the superior sixth generation platform. Uh,
Still time.
I know. I would love that if he came out and he's like, my next game is a Wii exclusive. The main music loop, that little piano bit,
Yeah.
is still with me. I love
Yeah.
it, and I love how it gets remixed throughout the game and kind of put into different formats, and they use different instruments to play it. I love that a lot.
No, my thing was hitting the guitar riff with my mouth, trying to guess when the loading time was stopped too, and then pulling it back at the same time.
Yeah.
I
Uh, you had background music that was like very rockabilly during your driving scenes. You drove just one track that plays as you drive around town. More importantly, you have background music during stores, and that music so good. I need this whole soundtrack. I think is my next acquisition
forgot
of
about the
some kind.
stuff in the stores because I was thinking the
It's
entire
really
time it
good.
was like a lot of it was the same, but I guess I wasn't like in the stores like all that often. Yeah,
The one I'm thinking of, the one I wrote down was the song that plays when you're in the video store.
I think I went in the video store twice.
It's so good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I love the music is really great in this all around.
There is one thing. I forget there was one thing visual wise. Is the dumb thing. There is a story event that happens. I think it's the fourth ranked assassin. It's the lady with the laser. There is a thing that happens before that boss fight. Did you go back to the training after said character may or not have died?
I don't think so. But
So
training like
small okay, small little bit of spoilers.
yeah,
So for in that fight right before the lady with the giant laser, she kills your master.
right.
Did you go back cuz he was the one that was in your training shop. Did you go back to training after he died?
Oh, I don't know if I did.
It's great. He is still there, just fucking like 50% opacity.
My God, that's so good.
He doesn't say anything about him dying. Just delivers the same straight lines about like
Just
undressing, and then like when you
kind
say
of a
I'm here to
ghost.
train, he's like, oh yeah, get dressed.
I really like that a lot. That's really funny.
Yeah, because at the end you do see him for like,
Yeah, yeah.
what's the Zelda forest for a sequence like that? That's stupid.
Oh yeah, the Lost Woods
Yeah,
bit that
lost.
you're
Yeah,
in. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's literally that model, just him in the chair though.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, that there's a lot of stuff like that just packed into this. That stuff that I know went over my head. That if I play this, replay it, it'll become more apparent. But yeah, I definitely made the Zelda association at that point too. Um,
But yeah, sorry, not to derail us. I was gonna, I forgot what you were saying. I,
no, that was it. I mean, it's mostly just the music is where I was at. Um,
I fell in love with the sound effects more so than I think the music. I just think like the game
mm,
just leans so much into it's, hey, I'm a video game, come play and have fun. And
yep.
so much of that is just the classic arcade sounds that you would hear like if you walk through an arcade, you would probably hear 80% of all the different sound effects in passing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and they
it's real.
used oh man, I don't remember what sound effect it is now. When you save the game in Romeo is a Dead Man, they pull one from this game. So when people playing Romeo is a Dead Man who played this knew that, but like me going into this, I'm like, oh, that's I now I see where they. Yeah, really, really, really good time.
I do have one random note here, I guess, before
Yeah.
transitioning out. I said that not Netflix, but Travis Touchdown is the one that put Blockbuster out of business. Dude just never returns his videos.
No, he really did not. He kept them all. He tried, but he would just take back partial copies that he made of the. Um, One other note I wrote down that I didn't call out in the visual section or controls was I really like that you can navigate the menus with the D-pad. Um, Most games of this era, when you plug in a nunchuck, if you're moving with the nunchuck analog stick, that's what you're going to use with. If you're pointing, then you're going to be pointing. But this, you could do whatever you wanted. And I loved that they just let all of that work. I know it's subtle and it's like not a
Oh,
thing
could you
worth
point?
calling out, but no, you
Oh,
couldn't.
okay, okay. It was
I
just
just,
either
as an example,
directional.
like,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah, like usually you're locked in to the point where also, like, if you think about a modern video game like Marathon, for example, the console version, you are only using the analog stick. They've got that big, stupid, empty touchpad, and you can't move that around like a mouse. Why would that make any sense? You just have to use. You can't use the D-pad to move through the menus. Got to use stupid, dumb, fake cursor because I don't have a mouse on a PS5. Anyway, um, No More Heroes is better than Marathon. Is what I'm trying to say. And the Wii remote, tiers above the DualSense. Uh, what else did I have written down here? That might be yeah, it's kind of. I think we hit everything. I did like the one little bit toward the end where you get a prompt to disconnect the nunchuck, and then you have a
Oh,
different
yeah.
style of. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a fun change up. Um, in closing, I have a couple of questions before we rank this thing. What do you think makes No More Heroes an interesting video game? I think you alluded to some of this before, but
I I think it's I think it's a combination of a few things, but I think it boils down to like all these different um, factors coming together, and just this game just being unapologetically so much of a fucking video game.
mm-hmm.
Um, that it can't help but be awesome and ooze style because of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's self-aware, and I think it remembers to have fun and not take itself seriously, while also taking itself very seriously.
Yeah.
Like, don't get too hung up, but also believe in the world that you built, and yeah, make it work. How well do you feel like this complements the Nintendo Wii?
Oh, it's the outlier.
Really?
I mean, Cause it doesn't really do too much. I mean, I know like the kill slice, and there's a couple motions with the Wii remote, but like think of other games that came out on the Wii, like Red Steel, like everything wanted to be pure, like
One to one motion. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
or it just abandoned all of that for the most part and went like maybe pointer, and then everything else was mapped to a button. This kind of
Yeah.
like meets in the middle almost. Not to say that other games don't do it, but there's not many of them that are willing to do that. But
What do you lose
uh,
without motion controls?
I the satisfying flick of a wrist, like
Yeah.
I
I think that's there. I think more specifically to the Wii remote, missing out on that speaker bit would, that's,
sure,
I think if you're playing on a
but I
modern
did miss out
platform where
on.
this has been, you did, I know. I think that sucks. But like playing on Switch or playing on PC, because this is ported to other things now with more modern control schemes. I think not having a speaker in the controller would suck. But final question: what do you wish this did better?
I kind of just wanted this to go from point A to point B more and kind of skip
Mm,
the open world or do something else with it.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's it. I think this game went from like da 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 da, and then whatever it would have been. I think it would just been paced better too.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think a little bit more streamlining. Some of the stuff where it just feels slow to get through or make progress to the next bit, but otherwise, I was really happy with this one. I'm glad we got to play it. And now we get to rank it. Over at thefreecheese.com/the list. If you're watching the video version of the podcast, it's on the screen for you to follow along at home. Matt, kick us off. Where'd you rank No More Heroes?
Sorry, I'm trying to get this size just right in
Oh,
this
you're
window.
good. You're good.
Let me refer to the thing that I have here. It has my notes. I have this as the new 47 between Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus and Space Channel 5.
I would have really liked it if we not only picked the same game but had the same ranking, but we did not. But we're really close. Uh, I had this as the new 55, above Final Fantasy 13, but below Year Walk,
Oh,
which makes
I
this
honestly
tough.
thought you wouldn't. I had a feeling we'd be close to one another. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I was thinking you would be 50 above Ape Escape,
Mm.
or
If
maybe
I,
below or below Ape Escape. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say if I break Ape Escape, then I'm coming up to where you are because I and maybe even past Sly.
But now that I'm looking at these rankings, I forgot how much you liked all that stuff right there.
Yeah, I did.
Um, yeah, I'm fine with like Final Fantasy 13 being the jumping point.
Yeah, like I think if I break past Year Walk, I'm over Civ. I'm over, yeah. Ape Escape's another challenge. I think you're right. I don't know if I jump that, but if I do jump that, I jump Space Channel 5 easy. I think I jump Sly Cooper, but I maybe stop at Parasite Eve. That might be my ceiling.
Yeah, that's kind of where I kind of was like I was falling. I saw Parasite Eve and Sly Cooper, and I was like, finally I found like a game. Felt real good about putting it over, and I kind of just landed where I did.
I think Sly and No More Heroes both have an identical trait about them where I walked away from both thinking, gosh, how have I avoided playing these for this long? I really need to play the next one. Like I had that with Sly, I had that with this, where like my gut when playing both of these and finishing both of these was go buy the sequel. Well, Sly I already own, but yeah, like No More Heroes, I'm hunting that down, and I'm eager to play the rest of them. Um, hmm.
Well, if you don't want to jump too much, I'm not. Honestly, I'm fine with if you want to put it where you have it. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to argue one way or the other.
No, 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 because I can see it over all of that. I think I come to you. I like this game a lot, so I don't want to. The higher we can go, the better, I think. But I don't want to go too high. I agree. Like once I start to climb, I climb pretty quickly up to where you are. I think at that point it's a matter of is this over or under Sly. I think we both agree it's not above Parasite Eve.
Yeah, yeah. Parasite Eve. It's
So if
by
that's our
ceiling
ceiling,
here, I
yeah.
think. Uh, I, I honestly, I think Sly just the only reason I put Sly over top was I thought it was like the tighter experience pacing wise because
I
it didn't
no,
have to
you're
do the
right.
open world thing. That's like the
You're
only reason.
100% right.
Um,
I agree. I think that's the breaker. You can just play slide through. There were moments of this where I was like, okay, do I want to spend 40 minutes now, like prepping myself for the next rank
right.
before I turn it off for the moment? Yeah, no, it's good. All right, there it is. Below Sly, above Space Channel 5. No more heroes. Congratulations. Grasshopper, you're on the list. A lot of things are on the list now. 193 things on the list. With 194 coming next week as we rank Panzer Dragoon Orta for the Xbox. I almost said the Nintendo Xbox. That is not what it is called. But we'll play or we talk about that one next week and rank that one on episode 674. Uh, Thank you, Matt. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.